My substance addict neighbor has been breaking into my house and estimizing herself with my guitar, so I'm getting her arrested. So I have a neighbor who is borderline psychotic, and is clearly very much on substances all the time. I don't see her a lot, but when I do she is usually outside smoking grass or just doing blow on the side of the road. She literally uses her credit card to make lines on the pathwalk. That's the level of crazy I deal with. That's not the full extent of it either. Whenever I walk by her she does one of two things. She either yells at me to play my guitar or she just stares at me really creepily. As to why she yells at me to play the guitar, this story starts 2 months ago. So I play the guitar for fun and have for the better part of the last 2 decades, and I would say I'm pretty good at it. I also play it in my room, and the way I am set up, I am playing in view of the window. I usually do it during the daytime with an open window, but I always make sure not to play too loudly so as to not disrupt anyone. Well, 2 months ago while playing, I looked out my window and saw her staring at me through her window, fully unclothed, her saggy substance addict honkers flashing me in all their pasty glory. I quickly covered my blinds and stopped playing. I have not played the guitar by the window since. Now every time she sees me I am hit with a barrage of incoherent yelling from her about how I need to play my guitar again. I still do. I just make sure my blinds are closed when I do it. At first I figured that she would yell this for a while then eventually blow over. But boy was I wrong. I came home from the gym one day and entered my house, then walked into the living room only for my nostrils to be greeted by the stench of poop. I inspected and realized it came from the tip of my guitar, as indeed there was some poop on my guitar. I stood back in disgust and cleaned it. I took some time after to ponder what the F could have happened. All my doors were locked. Nothing in the house was taken and was left exactly the same as it was when I left. I decided not to stress about it further and put the explanation down to me sleepwalking and pooping on my guitar. I know that's not what happened, but it's the best I could come up with and I wasn't bothered to pursue this. This happened 1 month ago. I let it go and figured it was a freak accident. But a week later, the exact same thing happened again. Once again I came home to find the tip of my guitar covered in poop. Once again I cleaned it, but this time I started to seriously ponder the possibilities. But yet again there was nothing that stood out as even a guess, as everything was left the exact same and all the doors were locked. I thoroughly inspected the house and found nothing. I was now skeptical, but I decided to leave it be. For the next 2 weeks life went without a hitch. My guitar was poop free. Until it wasn't. 1 week ago I came home and again, I found the tip of my guitar with some poop on it. I was now seriously mad. However this was happening, I was going to find out. I didn't bother contacting authorities or any of the sort, instead opting to install some security cameras into my house. They arrived 3 days ago and I set them up, as well as connected them to my phone to alert me if any motion is detected. Whoever was messing with my guitar was going to be caught the next time they did it. Well, today it happened. I was out grocery shopping when I got a notification that motion has been detected. I was finally going to catch the perpetrator, but what I saw was not something I was expecting at all. I turned on my phone and watched Liv as my substance addict neighbor walked into my house, proceeded to look around, then took my guitar. When she picked it up I was fearing the worst, the possibilities of what she was going to do with it running through my mind. She proceeded to unzip her pants, and I watched in horror as she proceeded to push the tip of the guitar into her back door and open her mouth agape as if she was really enjoying this. After a few minutes of this, she placed the guitar back and left my house. I left the grocery store and threw up on the sidewalk, the horror of what I just saw fresh as a daisy in my mind. This guitar was handed to me by my dad, and this woman used it to estimize herself with. I rushed home and proceeded to inspect my guitar, and found the tip covered in a small amount of poop again. This time I called the police. I explained the situation and despite sounding very taken aback, they came quickly. They knocked on the door of the woman who opened it with a cat in her hand and wearing nothing but undies. I was there with the officers and I confronted her. She of course denied it, but the proof was there. She tried to resist as the cops were putting her into the back of the car, and they told me they were taking her to a psychiatric ward where they will be involuntarily admitting her. She will be out in 21 days however, and I think she might come back for revenge. I'm not sure.